Hi everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Women of Sweet Swine County, where we share what's happening inside and outside Sweet Swine County. And today with my lovely host, Paris. And of course, you know what we're always doing when we start the show? Looking for Nicole.
I know, it's like a Where's Waldo? Where's Nicole?
Exactly.
Well, you know, she left a note this time.
A note? Now what's up this time? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Can you read it? I don't even want to read it,
I figured
Paris.
you'd be too disgusted
We've
or
been
jealous.
through this too many times.
All right, listen. She says, ladies, at least she got that right. Sorry I couldn't be with you today, but there are many facets to my life, the least of which is my passion for music. I have discovered there is a blues series taking place in the town of Fairmont, Minnesota at the Opera House. Already, I have attended one feature with Dave Herrero, and it was incredible. So I have decided to stay here in Fairmont to attend the next two shows.
Why does she get to have all the fun?
On February 25th, the Corey Stevens Band. He is a national blues-based recording artist from Los Angeles. You know, she really is bad at writing notes. Corey is originally from Illinois and has a degree in classical guitar from Southern Illinois University and has migrated over the years from rock and roll to blues. He has had many hits, including Blue Drops of Rain, It's Over, I'll Play the Blues for You, Crosscut Saw, and Back in Time. He may be familiar to some people as the founder and guitarist of the band Texas Flood. Reserved seating is only $15 per show. She probably rented the whole thing for herself. Then, on March 18th, I will be seeing Bruce McCabe. I'm not sure.
He's going to be gone for a long time.
I know. Anyone familiar with Minnesota music and the blues certainly has heard of Bruce. He's a singer, songwriter, and piano player. As the frontman for the Hoop Snakes, piano player for Lamont Cranston, he co-wrote the band's biggest hit, Upper Mississippi Shakedown, and keyboardist, songwriter for Johnny Lang, the Lie to Me and Still Rainin', I love those, etc. One never knows where Bruce will pop up next. Bruce is returning to the Opera House with a brand new band he calls the Rich Poor Men. Rich men, that's why. Yeah. When I heard the blues were coming to Fairmont, Minnesota, I just contacted the Opera House in Fairmont to make reservations. These artists, I am sure, will be thrilled that I am in attendance. She had that in all caps, by the way. I will try to return in time for our next show. I know our viewers are expecting to see me.
Don't hold our breath.
No.
Well, enough about Nicole. What do you say we get the show started,
I
Paris?
think so. We have more important things.
This is going to be a great show because today we have two guests instead of our normal one.
Awesome.
Isn't that going to be fun?
She will be jealous.
She will be jealous. Ha, ha, ha. And, of course, a letter from one of our fans. So what do you say we get started?
Okay.
Hey. Earl. What are you doing here?
Well, what are you ladies doing here? And
it's our show.
Doesn't
what are you
Number
doing?
one rated Women of Sweet Swine County. You don't film until tonight.
Oh no! Mom said I had to hurry up or I'd be late.
Girl.
Well, I guess Mom was wrong. Giddy up.
Girl, since you're here, why don't you just stay and tell us what you were going to do on Split Hoof tonight, right, Prairie Ann?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want Cousin John to fire me, and besides,
Cousin John
he said
won't
that
care.
your show is just like an old hen meeting, you know, just all fluff and chatter.
Oh, really? He said that?
Cousin John said that. Prairie Ann, just... all right. Earl is here. He has information. You share something with us. I mean, you look like you're just ready to burst.
Well, I was gonna talk about the things outside Sweet Swine County. You know, the things I usually do on my show or on my segment called Earl Steps Out.
Oh, really, Earl? I've heard you don't even step outside of Sweet Swine County. That was a whole buzz on TMZ this afternoon.
Well, yeah, but this time I'm going to. This time I'm going to.
Earl,
but
just share with us, please. I know our viewers are dying to know it. Anything that irritates Cousin
all right.
John.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share with you a segment that I like to call
Earl Steps Out!
Earl, what's up with the plaid hat and the blondin shirt?
Well, I'm getting ready to head over to Wabasha to their annual Grumpy Old Men Festival.
Oh, I get it.
Yep. It's held the last Saturday.
Maybe your mama dressed you.
No, this is for the Grumpy Old Men Festival. It's held the last Saturday of each February. You remember those two movies, Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men, with John and Max? Well, those movies are based on the town of Wabasha, Minnesota. And every year they have a festival to celebrate those two movies. There's so much going on. I can't even believe they fit it all into one weekend.
I'm impressed, Earl.
Well,
you know, hard on you.
The day starts out early on Saturday with a French toast breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
But don't eat too much, because you have to save room for the hot dish luncheon later that day. Then you can head down to the ice fishing contest in the marina. After you catch your limit there, you need to get your dog dressed up for the pet pageant down under the bridge. And things are just starting to get going by now over at the VFW with raffles and music. They got a cribbage tournament and minnow races.
Minnow races.
Yep. You can also stop by the athletic field and watch some hockey, get in on a Texas Hold'em tournament game at the golf course, or even take part in the art show at the gallery.
Oh, great.
Some of your giddy up?
Yeah.
Now take a deep breath, because now you're going to head over to Slippery's for the annual Grumpy Plunge in the mighty Mississippi River.
That sounds
What is
chilly,
that?
The Grumpy Plunge.
Is that a drink?
It's a it's a polar plunge in the the Grumpy Plunge in the mighty Mississippi River. It's to raise money for some of the local organizations.
Perfect.
And then afterwards, you can
So
warm
can
up.
anybody take part in that grumpy plunge?
Sure, sure. Then afterwards, you can warm up at the annual Ragetti Spaghetti Dinner, followed by live music in different places that evening throughout the town. So now it's not done on Saturday, because on Sunday, don't forget to stop over to the snow sculpture contest along the river. There's a free showing of the original Grumpy Old Men movie at the movie theater, and you can even swoosh your way down some of the slopes at the ski hill. For more additional information about Wabasha's Grumpy Old Men Festival, check out their website at wabashamn.org.
So I have a quick question. The snow sculptures. Do you think that the snow sculptures are actually people who were in the plunge and couldn't get warm?
Maybe that's what they start with. You never know. You never know. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I've got for my segment of
Earl Steps Out!
So that's one of the segments that I was going to do.
What, Paris?
So-
Why are you, Paris?
Well,
Why are you letting him stay?
Well, I know. Well, he's very interesting. And hear more. What just happened to his shirt and hat?
Well, I'm getting ready for my next segment.
Which is?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got another segment I'd like to do of
Earl Steps Out!
Earl, are you really going to these places?
this time I will. Yeah.
Okay.
For my next adventure, I think I want to go over to St. Peter. That's in Minnesota, over in Nicollet County. That's the county seat over there in Nicollet County. On Saturday, February 12th of 2011, at 1 p.m., the Nicollet County Sheriff's Department is sponsoring the St. Peter Polar Bear Plunge. This chilly event begins at 1 at Hallett's Pond at 405 St. Julian Street there in St. Peter. The St. Peter Polar Bear Plunge began in 2007 as part of a year-round fundraising program called the Law Enforcement Torch Run. Now, this program allows the law enforcement personnel from all across Minnesota to raise funds and raise awareness for Special Olympics of Minnesota. And Dave Lang, the Nicollet County Sheriff there, says that the event wouldn't be possible without the help of around 70 volunteers every year.
Wow.
Those volunteers include the Nicollet County Sheriff's Posse, the Sheriff's Reserves from St. Peter and North Mankato, Sheriff's Department staff, and many community members.
Kudos to them.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, each year, one staff member is chosen to attend the National Olympics, Special Olympics Conference, providing an in-depth understanding of the benefits the polar plunge provides. Now, each of those participants in the polar plunge, they've got to raise a minimum of $75 each to make the chilly jump into Hallett's Pond. Now, in 2010, there was actually 313 plungers that took that icy waters on.
Oh, wow.
And then they raised more than $44,000
Oh, wow.
for the Special Olympics program in Minnesota. Isn't that something?
That is something.
Registration for the St. Peter Polar Bear Plunge is Saturday, February 12th from 10:30 to 12:45 on Saturday there at Hallett's Pond. And if you're not ready to take that frosty plunge yourself, ladies, just make a donation to one of the plungers that are there and help the St. Peter Sheriff's Department raise even more money for the Special Olympics this year. And for more information, check out the website plungemn.org and then just look for St. Peter.
See?
Yep.
Another good report from Earl.
I
Ladies,
apologize, Earl. I am so sorry. That was very interesting.
I knew you had
That is my report for
Earl Steps Out!
Well, ladies, thanks for letting me get my my 2 Earl Steps Out presented today, and I got to get going.
Wow, Earl, that was really interesting. Thanks for being here. Sorry.
Thanks, Earl.
Sorry I didn't understand. Bye-bye.
Bye. See, he is so interesting.
Well, Cousin John should love that, don't you think, Paris?
He is so
taking up our
interesting.
airtime.
He's very interesting.
It was interesting, but he still took up some of our airtime. But oh well.
Say, viewer email, I heard that we have one.
We do have one.
Would you like to read it, or do you want me to?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another.
Ladies, are you listening?
Ladies, I am writing to ask why there are no events in our county like this. Hudson is located in St. Croix County, Wisconsin, just 20 minutes east of the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area. Each winter, Hudson celebrates the Hudson Hot Air Affair. Ooh, you should be there, Paris. A 3-day winter festival based around hot air balloons. Pre-events begin 2 weeks prior to the actual celebration, with fundraisers and a candlelight cross-country ski and hike. The celebration begins on Friday with the ballooning education program in Hudson and area schools. The Torchlight Parade begins Friday night and offers prizes for various parade units, including the Best Kazoo Marching Band. Throughout the evening, you can watch the thrilling displays of fire from balloon equipment, followed by a fireworks display. Later participants can enjoy karaoke or dancing at local establishments. Saturday, enjoy morning and afternoon balloon launches and nearly 40 hot air balloons participating. You're invited to enjoy a marketplace and craft fair, a 5K fun run, a 4-person smoosh board competition, and kite flying displays. Saturday night, enjoy the hot air moon glow or field of fire, a benefit concert, karaoke, or dancing. Sunday morning, enjoy another balloon launch, and in the afternoon, participate in the chili cook-off and tailgating party. Driving all 3 days of festival, families can learn about the treasure hunting called geocaching and explore the area around Hudson and the St. Croix Valley. For additional information about the Hudson Air Affair, check your website at hudsonairaffair.com. Ladies, I'm attending this event and think everybody should. Yours, a fan. Well, there you have it. Another email that asks,
Ladies, are you listening?
Say, that hot air balloon festival sounded awesome.
doesn't it sound
It
like fun?
does, yeah. Especially
We'll have to hop in the car as long as Nicole can get away.
Yeah.
We can too.
That would
Why
be
not?
awesome. Say,
Yes.
we have an awesome guest. We have 2 really great guests, and
That's what I've heard. I can't wait.
And I'm going to introduce the first
interview
one. Ladies and gentlemen, Ann Prairie Ann from Palo Alto County in Iowa, in the town from the town of Emmetsburg, and you know where that is. Please welcome Deb Hite. Oh, Deb, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to start you off with a question because we are just dying to know who you are and what do you do in Emmetsburg.
Oh, well, everybody in Emmetsburg knows me. I'm Ann Prairie, and yes, I'm Deb Hite, and I am the Executive Director of the Emmetsburg Chamber of Commerce. And I'm here to tell you all about our St. Pat's celebration that's coming up here in March.
So what brings the St. Pat celebration to Emmetsburg? How did it all come about, Deb?
Emmetsburg's very strong in its Irish heritage, and they've been celebrating St. Pat's for about 51 years. That was when 2 businessmen, John McCain and Gary Gerard, just decided that something needed to be celebrated on St. Patrick's Day, so they walked into the street and decided to have a celebration.
So is there a Blarneystown?
There is a Blarney Stone. I'm glad you
Where's
asked.
that located?
There's a statue of Robert Emmett in the courthouse square, and Robert Emmett is the Irish patriot that Emmetsburg is named after.
Obviously.
And
the
at
Emmett
the base
part,
of
not the Robert.
Yeah, and at the base of Robert Emmett is Blarney Stone. And the legend has it that it was brought over from our sister city in Dublin, Ireland.
Huh. So you have a parade. What goes on? What happens?
We have lots of things going on, and it starts a whole week in advance.
Oh, wow.
This year's celebration is March 18th, 19th, and 20th. And we usually typically have it the weekend that's closest to St. Patrick's Day, which is the 17th. And so they'll start the week before on Sunday the 13th with a Little Miss Shamrock pageant. They have lots
Is there
of
an
queens.
age? Is there a minimum age?
5.
Oh,
You can't
sorry.
be in it.
Oh, I was thinking that with you. I could pass for pretty young.
Oh, I'm kind of
Anyway.
surprised you'd think you'd be vying for it. I thought you had already both been in a queen pageant.
Oh,
and
yeah.
certainly
Well, I
won.
have. Prairie Ann, I'm not sure. I mean, Queen of the Prairie Seats doesn't really count. But anyway, yeah. So parade, and you have the crowning, and I mean, do people have like green floats? I'm just imagining green floats and green people everywhere. Green beer, green. What is
that's
it?
right.
Just decked out in green lights, everything?
Just about everything that's green that you can come up with. Well, for instance, my vest with the shamrock on it. Yeah.
Now, does the chamber sell memorabilia from the weekend? Do you
Yeah.
have it every year?
Actually,
Different things that you can purchase, or
the Chamber of Commerce really isn't in charge of the weekend, but we do
just you.
support it. The St. Pat's Association is in charge
there's
of
a
the.
Oh,
complete
okay, there's a-
different
it's separate.
association from the chamber, but you just help with it.
That's right, and the St. Pat's Association puts on the whole weekend, and it's funded by memberships to the St. Pat's Association, membership from sales from the Irish Gift Shop, and then people sponsor different events throughout the weekend, and so it's really become a big
And I suppose all the
celebration.
restaurants are open,
Oh, yes.
and
Is
everybody's
there Irish
eating
music
and watching the
and
parade.
Irish
dancing?
music. Yes, in fact, there's a very popular event that's just kind of gaining it's just fairly new, let's put it that way. It's at the fire hall, and they call it the Gathering of the Clans and Friends.
Oh, cool.
And there's
Clans.
the Irish minstrels play there, and there's food and drink, and everybody can meet there, and it's a whole family event.
So has anyone from your sister city, from Dublin, have they ventured to the wild town of Emmetsburg for their
Yes,
their St. Patrick's Day
For a number of
celebration?
years, yes, for a
Wow,
number of years
that's
we've had a dignitary from the Irish Parliamentary come and visit.
Oh. So what day is the parade? I think I missed
Parade
the
is
date.
on Saturday the 19th.
It is on Saturday.
Starts
Okay.
at 1 o'clock in the
So it's
afternoon.
always on a Saturday. The Saturday closest to St. Patty's Day is when
The
parade
weekend.
is held. The
Yes,
weekend.
there's many
closest.
more things going on that weekend. Like the pageant is for the little Miss Shamrock is the Sunday before. On Thursday there is a Kaylee. Have you ever heard of a Kaylee?
No.
A Kaylee is like a gathering where people come in. They can sing, they can recite poetry, they can do limericks, whatever your talent is, and it's another family event. And then on Friday will be the Miss Shamrock for the gals. Well, I think you look young enough, but
She covers herself well.
juniors and seniors in high
Wow.
school. And the winner will get $500.
Oh, wow.
Second place gets $250, and third place gets $150. And then they have a Miss Congeniality, and our state Miss Iowa usually shows up for the
Oh,
pageant.
wow. Well, any other information that we
Well,
need to know
let me
about, or
check
our
my
viewers?
notes. Well, there's things like a Nick's Magic Show for the kids,
that sounds
and
fun.
face painting. That'll be going on Thursday. And then there'll be a free movie sponsored by Woodford Equipment. And then while that's going on for the kids, then the adults can go to the multipurpose center and gather with the adults and have some fun lunch and drink. Oh, and then on Saturday night, this year they've switched because they brought the Miss Shamrock pageant back to Friday night. It used to be a week in advance, and they brought it back to the weekend of the event. And so since that's on Friday night, they've switched, and the high school has a talent show that's been very popular, and they're going to have that in the new auditorium at the high school. That's 7 o'clock that Saturday evening.
Well, it sounds like Emmetsburg is the place to be. The
For St.
weekend.
Patty-
Yeah,
yeah.
for St. Patty's, the
It's
weekend
just
of St.
hopping.
Patty's.
So how do we find out more information? Because, I mean, there's so much. Do you have a website, or?
Yes, you could go to the Emmetsburg.com website,
Okay.
or you can go to St. Patrick's Association.com. Or maybe
Two
it's
different
org.
ways to find it.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. 'Cause
Or
you've
you
got
can call
two
me.
different options. Or
That's
call
right.
Deb
Call
at the chamber
Deb.
in Emmetsburg.
Exactly.
Sure. That's 852-2283. Oh, and area code 712.
Sounds
Well, stop in
awesome.
Emmetsburg, and we'll all wish you Cade Millier Falcha, and that means 100,000 welcomes.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Deb,
you
for
for having
coming.
me.
Hey, Deb, would you like to stick around for a city spotlight? That's coming up next.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mrs. Tipton.
Everybody, please take out your Minnesota history books and open them up to page 108.
Yes, Mrs. Tipton.
Now, Thursday, we are going to be taking a field trip, and I thought it would be fun to learn a little bit more about the town that we're going to be visiting. This town has an interesting past, a bustling present, and a very promising future. So let's get started. Fairmont, the city of lakes, is located in the heart of the Midwest and is a great place to bring together colleagues or catch a relaxing night's stay after traveling I-90. Fairmont's area lakes are a popular site for recreational activities any season of the year. You can be entertained at the historic Fairmont Opera House and Red Rock Center for the Arts, or visit the Pioneer Museum and Heritage Acres for a look at Fairmont's historic past. Fairmont's recreational opportunities include an aquatic park, soccer fields, numerous softball and baseball diamonds, volleyball courts, and much more. I thought you might also like to see some of the community partners that help make this community prosper. Class, remember to bring your permission slips and to tell your parents about this great Minnesota town.
Well, Paris, that was too bad that Deb had to take off
I
so
know,
soon, but you
Earl-
know, she's got so much to do
Well, I
to
think
get ready
Earl
for...
flagged her down,
You think so?
actually, to
Oh,
see,
could have been.
you know, he's still looking to get out of Sweet Swine. I think he want to add questions.
Maybe he's getting
but
a ride. But we got another great guest.
I heard.
Is it okay if I introduce her?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, join us in welcoming from Scott County, Minnesota, in the town of Jordan. Please welcome Maureen Carlson. Hi, Maureen. How are you today?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Good, good, good. So,
I have to ask this question. No, I absolutely love what you're wearing, but do you show up to every interview, every outing dressed like this? This is
I
lovely.
actually do.
I think it's beautiful.
I actually do.
Paris.
I was kind of going to ask you the same, but you know, I
I'm
think we
always
all
fashionable.
have a taste for what we wear, and I love the woods, and I'm a storyteller. And so I go to schools, and I do public speaking, and I've worn this all over the country. And this is my friend Gertrude. Gertrude's my walking stick, and she came dressed for the occasion as well.
Can we see?
So are there
Oh, wow.
special things in Gertrude's pockets here?
Imagination,
Imagination.
creativity, surprises, joy,
Surprises and joy.
laughter.
Oh, all my
I can
favorite
hear it
things.
laugh. Maureen, what made you locate your Center for the Arts in the small town of Jordan? How did you become to be there?
Well, my husband and myself decided that I really needed a place where I could teach classes and show my work, because people were starting to be aware of some of the things that I did, and we needed a location. And so we were looking for a place that would be on a river. That was the first priority. It had to be on a river.
Of course.
And it needed a place where people could walk. So I thought it would be in the middle of 5 acres of woods. And then we found Jordan one day, and there's a beautiful park with a waterfall, and there's a place to walk, and there are little antique shops and little restaurants. And then I have my little place on the river, and it's perfect for us. It's close enough to Minneapolis, St. Paul, that people can drive in from the airport if they're coming in from out of town. We're about 35 miles from the airport, and so it's a perfect location for us. And it's a little small town and quaint, and when people come in from the East Coast or California, they'll go, "This is so cute. Look at this little town."
Oh, yeah.
So it's a very cute little town.
You mentioned classes and retreat. We checked your website
Yes,
site out. We have to
your
admit.
website's amazing.
Yeah, so you mentioned you have classes, you have retreats. Why do the students come to you? And you said they come from all over, like California, East Coast. What other areas?
Well, we've actually had people from out of the United States.
Just going to ask, in other countries.
Usually they're coming in for something else to visit relatives, and then they'll come and see us because they know about my work because I write books. And with the internet now, and I've done some television on HGTV, and with the internet, you know, you can get buzz going, yes.
Everyone.
So we've had people from Kuwait, Austria, England, Thailand, United States, and Canada.
What are your hours?
Well, I'm only open 1 day a week to the public because our main focus really is the retreats and then my own work that I do. And just on Fridays, but then also by appointment, and then we have our retreats and our classes, and we're open during those things. We're also open if there are special events. So we invite the audience to come to Jordan for our art festival, which is at the end of June, and then we have a wonderful Heimat Fest celebration in September.
Or if we can't visit, you said you have a website. Do you have a blog? What?
We do. We have a website. It's very simple, easy to remember. I'm Maureen Carlson, so it's maureencarlson.com. And then my husband has a website called We Folk Creations, like little people, We Folk
W-E-E.
Creations.
Okay.
And we're in business together.
Okay.
And you both do the creations, right? I see you have a basket of goodies.
I know, I've been trying to look.
I do have a basket. I brought things I thought you might be interested in.
They're absolutely beautiful.
My main thing to work with is polymer clay. So I've sculpted his face and hands.
Oh, wow.
And my friend Lou made the costume on that one.
And how long have you been working with polymer?
30 years.
So when you said you write books, I'm assuming you write polymer clay books.
I do, and I also write stories.
You're an expert at it.
One of my dreams is to write some stories for children in books, but right now it's polymer clay books, and I brought some to give. And so I have one of these to give to the whole audience, how to make clay characters.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow.
That one has sold more than 100,000 copies, and so that one's our best-selling book. And then I have one for each of you. I brought one of our children's books for the child in each of you. And this is Imagine Your World in Clay.
Oh, wow.
Because we're all about imagination.
Now, if Paris and I wanted to come to a retreat, are they scheduled like throughout the year? Or can we just have our own retreat? Or how does one go about setting something like that up?
Yes, yes, yes. All of those things work. So we have some things that are scheduled where they're on the calendar and you need to reserve a spot. And those can be my classes or one of my guest teachers' classes. And those can be in jewelry. One of my favorite things now, though, is the creative process of understanding our own story and doing it through art. So that's part of what I do. Or you can schedule your own private retreat and rent the whole building. I have a dormitory that sleeps 8.
Oh, wow.
And so you could have bed space for that many and then have other people come in if you wanted to.
And you could teach me how to do something like him.
I could. Wow. Though if it's your very first time sculpting, it may not look just like that. But it's really about the process more so than the end product. But yes, I've been teaching for a long time, and I sort of teach it like a recipe. And so if you follow these steps, you will find it much easier than you think it will be. Though if you're trying to make a beautiful, sweet, charming little baby or fairy, that's very hard. That little character has little masks that she can wear, and she's part of a set that I made that was called, she sits in a cabinet that has roots on it, and her name of her cabinet is She Stopped Biting Her Nails Once She Remembered that in her root cellar she had a mask to fit every occasion. Wow. And don't all of us wish we had masks that we could put on and change into someone else, which is sort of what my costume is about.
Here.
And when you go to schools, what kind of stories, what kind of program is that for?
I take a basket of clay, and it's all about imagination. And so the first child finds skin.
Cute.
I cut it up in 5 pieces, and by skin I mean a color of clay, purple, green, yellow, orange, red. I cut it up in pieces and I give it to 5 kids. The first person tells me if it's male or female. The second one, how old it is. Someone tells me if it's a fairy, gnome, troll, elf, goblin.
somebody names it, and then I start to create it. Somebody finds its underwear in the basket and its clothes, then somebody tells me where it lives. All the time I'm making the character and I'm asking the questions. So they're telling the story.
Oh, how fun.
But I'm facilitating it. And when we're
if
done...
the school wants to get a hold of you to have you come, if they just go on your website, then they can get set up to have you come to their school.
Yes. Wow.
Perfect. That looks very interesting.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, this is, and I don't know if the audience can see this here, but this is a box, and this is a story box, and I've told my story in there, one of my stories, and I'm fairly creative, so you wouldn't think I lived with fear, but I'm always living in fear that what I create won't be good enough. And so I made a box about playing it safe and dealing with that whole thing of fear, which isn't a very funny thing to laugh about.
So they're kind of therapy boxes, too.
Yeah, they can be fairy boxes. They can be humorous. And then inside I put things that meant something to me in terms of that theme. And so when I teach this as a class, I encourage people to find their story that they want to get outside of themselves and put into a box.
So are the pictures, is that like pictures of you when you were younger?
Yes, it is.
Very sweet.
Yes, it is. And here is my cousins and my daddy and my sister on a tractor. And the one that's crying is me. And my mother said it's because I wanted to get out there and play with the big girls on the wheels.
And they
of course.
They want truth.
So what is the most difficult part about
juggling.
all of this? Balance, yeah.
Balancing, juggling.
Because you work with your husband. I'm sorry, but would that not be difficult?
He's sitting out there in the audience.
We mean that in the nicest way.
But you know what? That relationship keeps changing too, and currently we're just doing lots of things we're learning, and you know, when you're learning something new, it doesn't matter so much if the underwear is laying on the bathroom floor or if because you're excited about something new that you're learning, and it's like...
And you can put that in a story.
Yes, you can.
Oh, Maureen, I hate to do this, but I'm getting this sign from behind that we've got to wrap it up. Thank you for coming to be our guest, and we for sure are going to come up and see you. And remember, we share small town stories with big town attitude, for we are the women
of Sweet Swine County.
Bye-bye.